What's up, guys? Sub-Zeric here with something pretty special. So Kyun basically ego tweeted this today. I climbed almost 900 LP in the last 48 hours. Think this might be the most I've climbed in such a short period since set 1 Void Sins meta read in the next pick. And I mean, you look at this graph, he was D4 literally like 2 days ago, and now he's almost 500 LP, almost challenger, rank 5 in North America. He has a meta read here, which is, reroll comps, the type of like Fast 9 stuff that you can play around. He really talks a lot about like Fast 9 though, and I think that's something that was really crucial for Kyun in his climb. So let's check what his games look like, how he played these games out, and how he did so incredibly well, because I mean that is quite the climb for any player, really, especially for someone, Kyun's still in box boot camp. He needs to climb as much as he can to stay alive, and I mean that probably guaranteed that he's going to be like top 10 box even if he starts running it down. Oh, also let me get rid of my camera for a second so you can see his average on this stream, because he did it on stream. He started the stream like 50 LP, and he is almost 400 LP after just a few games. He's not even past the first row yet. We have Prismatic Augment Opener here. We get Lucky Loves and Harm Assist, which aren't amazing options, though like you can kind of play around them. And Kyun gets an option here that I don't think most people are happy with. He's checking the stats, so you know what? I might as well check the stats here on Level Up here, because he does end up taking it. Yeah, Level Up 4.48. Not the best augment in the world, not terrible by any means, but definitely not something that you're like that excited to take. But Kyun, I think with all that he's been playing around Fast 9 type stuff, I think this just fits perfectly into his strategy and how he wants to approach the patch. He also puts together this Ghostly board, and actually pre-levels up to level 5 here to increase his odds of potentially hitting a fortune unit. Does not get one in this shop, but he can still at least play a slightly stronger board. You can see he's holding this Kobuko, he's holding this Teemo. Kyun's saying, I would love to play towards fortune this game, and that's something that he's been playing a lot. In his little like meta snapshot, it says if you can't, your conditions to Fast 9 are either a good fortune loss streak or a really strong win streak. And you can see from his position here, especially with Level Up, which is a non-combat augment, he's not going to be able to streak in this spot. So if he wants to roll a Fast 9, there's only one other option, which is fortune here. So hold on to the fortune units, even the level 5 pre-level, to increase our odds of finding 3 costs here, and hopefully we pick one up. Still no fortune unit in our shop. We do need to prioritize making gold here, so you're gonna have to cut something kind of good. I wonder what it's gonna end up being. Yeah, perhaps it does. Just you play a slightly worse behemoth. So though you still have to, you can't even do that. You still would need to sell Kobuko if you wanted to make gold that way. So yeah, he ends up playing Teemo and plays a pretty crummy board for a 3 loss here. But the hope is that we can pick up a fortune unit on Carousel and start playing towards fortune. Eventually, we have to pick one up, right? Worst case, we just end up blue streaking without fortune. That would feel very bad. So hopefully there's a Zoe or a Tristana on Carousel. There is a Tristana on the other side, so we're going to go nab that. And now at 2-5, we have Fortune active. So for you guys who haven't played around Fortune yet that much this set, it's a loss streak trait, similar to stuff like Piltover or Underground, where you want to lose streak. But the weird thing about it is that you're going to see when we get fortune in here, it's going to roll a die. That rolls a 5. So in 5 rounds, we are going to cash out or have the option to, raise the stakes. I forget what it's called. Push your luck, I believe, is the kind of raise your stakes of this set. So basically, you have to wait 5 rounds before you can actually, get your cash out. So it's kind of interesting. It's not one of those traits like Underground, where you had to like win to cash out, or like Piltover. And it's not like Heartsteel, where you just have a set amount of rounds. It's 4 rounds every time, and then you cash out. It's a random number of rounds, but you don't have to win. So the upside is that we're guaranteed in 5 rounds to see some amount of cash out if we want it. The downside is that, say we cash out after 5 rounds, and we say, actually, we don't want the cash out, actually, we're going to raise the stakes. Ooh, beautiful play by Kyun here, by the way. Someone who's playing Fortune is definitely going to be doing this. Full opening their board, only playing the Fortune unit so that you can lose to this other loss streak player in Ripple Overdrive. We get the loss here. It's a great loss because they're only fielding 4 units. We even kill one off. So we actually get to save a little bit of HP and end up 70 HP, which is not the worst. And the big thing is not losing our loss streak here, because Fortune is one of those loss streak traits that it scales up the more times you lose. So you lose the first fight, you get, like 1 stack here, and then we lost the second fight, we got 2 stacks of Fortune, and that keeps going up dependent on stage and dependent on your loss streaks. You really, really, really want to be, stacking up those huge loss streaks when you're playing around Fortune so you can get actually the max benefit from it. But yeah, Kyun doing some very diligent scouting. When you play comps like this, you have to scout diligently, and he's immediately going to slam Static Shiv. I was talking about this actually, how I love this Static Shiv slam when you're playing for Fast 9 type boards. It's just so fantastic for units like Hui, for units like Azir, who, Hui especially hits frontline and hits backline. Udyr hits frontline and hits backline. All of these like 5-cost carries have chances to hit backline, and so you much prefer something like a Static Shift to a Spark. It also is just generally a better slam, which can hopefully, in this situation, help you kill a few units. Hopefully we don't win fights, but hopefully we kill a few units. Augment here is pretty crazy. Wow, he immediately looks at Trash to Treasure here. I think maybe Kyun thinks that this Augment is very underrated here. There's also Blinding Speed, which would guarantee you a red buff. The only problem is, the other items are pretty good. I wouldn't be that surprised to see it. He's just going to go for the Jeweled Lotus, though, the JL. Just saying that this is going to be our highest cap. Just playing for absolute highest cap here, which, yeah, certainly makes sense. We're going to fight a tiny but deadly board, which hopefully we can kill some of these units. But, Kyun, like I was talking about, diligent in playing for Lost Streak. You got to be diligent when you play for Lost Streak with Fortune because it's so important to keep that. We're not even going to slam this Gargoyle. Even though we're fighting a board that's always going to clear ours, we can't, get rid of our Lost Streak potentially against, someone else. Supporter Artifact, we don't have too many items yet. We're going to go for support here just to augment our board. And, I'm not that happy with any of these. It's certainly not ever going to be Black Cleaver or Zephyr probably, so you're stuck with Zeeks and Randuins, and he just opts for the Zeeks here. It's kind of super much attack speed here. We have the Sivir, we have the attack speed Kale, and we have the Zeeks here, so all just amping up the attack speed of our backline. We are going to lose another fight as well, get up to 20 fortune stacks, which is equivalent to 22 gold, it says. But we're actually in a pretty rough spot fortune-wise here. We kind of are forced to cash out. And probably take something here that builds for a stronger board, something like, he doesn't even want the Galio. I was thinking maybe like Galio. The only problem is the item isn't very good, but I think he wants the Rod here to prioritize a Morello's here, because that is, once again, Static Shift Morello's. I think you can slam those every single game if you want to play towards Fast 9. He gets his cash out here. Yeah, you basically have to take the cash out, sadly. You'd love to push your luck, but if you push your luck and hit a 6 here, this game is a guaranteed 8th. And I guess we're going to see what's in this item anvil, I would have to assume. Ooh, okay, so you have Sniper's Focus, Mana Zane as options. Mana Zane, yeah, I like a lot. Sniper's Focus, also, if you're playing around, I assume it's pretty solid on someone like a Hui. Though probably Mana Zane is the best option, especially with this setup where we don't really have a mana item yet. We're going to take our 9th loss here. We still theoretically have Fortune in here. I didn't actually get a chance to see what it rolled, so I don't know how many rounds we are. Oh, it said three rounds until we cash. I don't know if we're gonna make it 3 rounds, but we'll see. The nice thing is that we didn't go for like the raise the stakes, so at least we got that cash out of the Mana Zane, which is not bad. We are relatively, I would say, very rich due to the fact that we played Fortune, went for this huge loss streak, even though Fortune didn't give us any. If it might have given us a little bit of gold, but it was not much gold. But we still have the gold from just the fact that we lost streaked and the fact that we took a level up, which really juiced up the amount of gold that we have. So we're gonna fight another relatively strong board here. This looks like a decent loss. Oh, it was a close. We almost killed off so many units here, but it ends up, it's not quite 6 units because some of these are fake units from the Trickster's class, but that was not a good loss. It was almost a 2-unit loss, but yeah, Kyun just trying to put together a strong enough board so that he can save some HP, and we're looking to go 9 ASAP here. But yeah, the spot looks pretty desperate. I think if I did not know how good Kyun's scores looked on this stream, I would assume that this game is just a pot 4. He's going to get a baby duplicator here, use this to actually pick up the 2-star Teemo, who is actually going to help the board out a ton. He's even going to Trickster's class this Wukong here, which, I doubt it's one of Wukong's favorite items, but, it's a monkey. It's a monkey on your board that's going to jump around and hit things. That doesn't seem bad. The Trickster's class Annie, I think, seems fantastic, just to give yourself some more frontline. That looked like the second Annie didn't even get a cast off. A Mumu, or not a Mumu, but Teemo damage, bringing down backline. Very good loss, but we don't have too many more of those. We're going to have to level up here. I'm down to even slow this down here to see, because this is going to be our level 9, and he does actually get a cash out here. Stan Unite, a fantastic late game augment. So we got to take cash out here. I have to imagine we have to go 9 here. We actually cash out just a belt and some gold. It almost looked like it was a fawn, but that was just because we leveled at the same time. Pick up a Hui, which is really, really nice. We have the Amumu already. And get Nico in to add Fortune to our board. Or not Fortune, but Heavenly to our board. We pick up an Annie too, which is really crucial because now we actually have some frontline. We pick up Zyra Khan, which is really nice. So we have Zyra Khan pair, and we have Wukong pair. So if we can last 5 rounds, we'll be really happy. Oh my god, and we have a Zir pair here. Yeah, gonna get a Zir in over that unit, getting, ooh, yeah, we're gonna get this in here. It's interesting, he still wants to actually play around the Deco, just as a unit. I feel like most people would try to fit in the Riven here over Nico. Maybe we'll get that in later, because I don't think we really need Nico. I guess it's Arcanist, but I don't know how important that is. And we're going to end up Mana Zaning, Death Capping, and Morelloing this unit Static Shiv over to the Azir. And then, I mean, the only slammable item here would be like a Starax. Looks like he was almost looking at like a Guard Breaker on frontline, but yeah. Ooh, he's even going to opt to not hold the Rakan pair, says it's too expensive. I don't have the time to lock. I'm just going to look for my most relevant upgrades here, which, I mean, I think makes a lot of sense. Picks up an Udyr, which is a really, really fantastic unit on these type of boards, and he actually has the Ornn to pair with it. So I have to imagine we're going to get Udyr plus Ornn in here. Yeah, get the Lissandra out. He really, really likes this Nico. I'm surprised. Maybe this is part of how Kyun likes to play around these boards, because, yeah, I mean, we could be playing... I mean, we end up getting... We still don't have the Riven in, though, is the thing. Like, that would be 3 Ultrast on our board, but instead he prefers actually the 3 Heavenly, which is kind of interesting. I mean, it amps up the Heavenly stacks a little bit, but yeah, I'm a bit surprised. He also... I don't know about that roll there. There's like almost nothing we can hit in that spot, but he wants to roll there for some reason. Okay, this is really crucial. This is a 0-2 off carousel. It also has a TG on it, which, you know, we're going to have to sell this Nico if we want to make TG, but that could be TG for Wukong. It could be TG for Udyr. This could potentially save our setup here. This is really, really important. Yeah, he's trying to figure out what unit to actually TG here. Gets the Diana in, picks up an Udyr pair. Now he has a... yeah, picks up the Ornn pair, and now he has Udyr pair in shop, so I don't know what we're even doing here. He is going to opt to TG the Udyr here. Yeah, I like this a lot more. I think Wukong actually needs a lot more specific items than Udyr. Udyr, you know, uses AP items really well. Will be okay with like attack speed type AD type items, though like AP is a lot better, and then uses tank items really well. He's even going to, wow, just... He's looking to find these 2-star 5+ as quickly as possible, so he's not gonna even lock shop here. He says the Ornn 2 is not important. I'm just going to roll here immediately. I'm not gonna lock. I'm just gonna chill on this board right now and sell the Ornn so that I can pick up the Udyr, because Udyr 2 is really, really important. We have to live 2 more rounds before we're gonna get that 5+ duped. It is so scary to be in this position when you're Kyun, because the board is all right. I mean, the big saving grace is that we got that Azir 2, which is going to help add more frontline, and that we picked up a Hui. Hui is just a disgusting unit at this point in the game. Just what he can do with the Morello is not okay. And the Mana Zane is actually really, really nice onto him. I like this pickup. Looks like Kyun is like kind of thinking about if he wants... I mean, you definitely have to duplicate the Udyr here, right? He's got your TG. He is going to be like a source of pseudo frontline and damage for your board. He's CC, he's damage, he's everything you could ever want. Also, you know, talking about our augment pickup, the Stand United was fantastic. As you can see, we have so many traits in. Okay, we really want to roll down to 0 here, because say we pick up an Udyr 2, then we can duplicate the Wukong. Kind of the opposite happens here, where we end up duplicating the Wukong. This is kind of awkward, because you'd really love like an Edge of Night for your Wukong, but you can't really make that. He's going to end up going the Starax plus Gwynsu setup here, not even building an item on Wukong, but just going for Gwynsu onto the Azir 2, which, yeah, I think at least Starax is like a tank item for Anya. I like this setup a good bit, because all the other items seemed a little bit rough. There was like Even Shroud plus something, but then it was like Even Shroud plus Edge of Night, maybe. The problem then is that like your board is really much more magic damage focused right now. Even Shroud is a pretty low impact item, and Starax is kind of like a worse version of a Warmogs, in that it gives you a lot of HP to your frontline. So it's not terrible at the end of the day. But yeah, we finally kind of stabilized our board. 2-star Azir, 2-star Wukong with no items, 2-star Ornn, 2-star Udyr, and 2-star Annie here. So we've actually kind of got there. Eventually, I think we're going to get off of this Annie, but she is like fine on the current board just to be a solid tank. And this is really nice. Yeah, he picks up the 3 cost here. He just wants to start stacking up stacks for units that actually matter. Like ideally we would get up to 5 stacks and just make like a 2-star Rakan or something if you can find a Rakan. There's the Diana in there, because Diana 2 is very real as well, but we really don't want to duplicate a 2 cost. We really want to get as many stacks as possible, because this 2-star Rakan is going to be way more influential than, you know, a random like 2 gold that we get from duping a random 2 cost. But yeah, I mean, look how strong this level 9 board is. I don't know. I don't think I've actually done a video on this level 9 board, but this is a pretty standard level 9 board where you play around the core of like Azir plus Ornn plus Udyr, which, you know, fits together as a nice little grouping. Hui usually ends up on there because Hui is just an excellent unit, even though he doesn't actually have any synergies to add to the board. Please stop doing that, Kyun. It hurts my eyes. We can pick up a Hodge for... Oh, okay. Well, I guess we're... What did we end up picking up here? Nothing. Arcanist spat he's looking at. Yeah, that is pretty rough. I mean, and now he's like, okay, I guess we'll play Lysandra on this board. But yeah, that is quite rough. I assume we can level pretty soon, actually. Also, I don't really like that Arcanist spat on the Annie. Wouldn't you prefer Ornn to farm an Annie item here, at least for a couple of rounds until we actually get Arcanist in? I would think so, but maybe not. Maybe he... Like, this allows Ornn to farm for the Wukong with this positioning, which is still pretty nice, getting an item onto Wukong here. Yeah, it's a Titan's Resolve kind of late onto Wukong. Not amazing, but not terrible. But yeah, you can see just the power of this board, though. Ooh, this is a scary fight. We end up just barely beating that Yone board. Yone is very scary. The only comps that this comp tends to struggle versus, I would say, are the comps with a lot of... like with a mega tank, or really like a mega carry in like Gnar, in like the Yone, because this board actually has pretty low single target damage. We're gonna pick up 1 anvil here, which is not very helpful. Maybe once we find a Lysandra, we can utilize that. We'll see. He's actually gonna opt to level here for the Syndra and then just start rolling it down. That's our Con 2 if we want it. We're just not gonna be able to stack up our stacks anymore. It's gonna have to sit at 3 here, which feels a little bit bad. But Rakan 2 does feel really, really good, and this allows us to get Arcanist in, which is gonna pump up our board even more. AP for everybody, which is really, really nice. And look at this, we are almost guaranteed top 4 in this position. Wait, that works? I did not know that. That's actually super good information. He put the anvil on the hex, and it actually started stacking it up. Someone said 10 turns. Someone said the anvil is 10 turns. I did not know that actually worked. I assumed that wouldn't work, but wow, that's actually huge tech. Because you can actually get those stacks, and now he could put a 5 cost on there. The problem is that he doesn't actually have a 5. Oh, but now he does have a 5 cost to put on there. But that's huge. That actually accelerates him 1 round by just putting the anvil there. Wow, I did not know that. That's actually really, really good to know that you can put the anvil on the Hui hex. But yeah, I mean, now we've actually got to our like full capped board. We have the Lysandra in. Oh yeah, the one thing I would say is most people tend to fit Altruist on this board in the slot that Annie's in right here. Like, you don't really need the extra tankiness from Annie. But looks like, I mean, we just ended up playing around Annie because we hit Annie 2 so quickly. It also does like fit on the board solidly as an invoker for Azir, so it's not bad by any means. Ultra's just, you know, amping up the tank stats on your entire board, I think tends to be better, but I don't know. I still don't think this fast 9 board has been completely solved. And this board that we have for Kyun is absolutely dominating everyone. It's already a top 2, and we'll see if we can cap out for a top 1. Hopefully we can. But yeah, I mean, a masterful game from Kyun, that huge loss streak into this. And this is what Kyun did in a lot of games. He played around Fortune, took those big loss streaks, goes down to tiny amount of HP, and then you just have to build around what you hit. I think, you know, like I was talking about, Annie is not like, I would say, core on this board, but if he had skipped this Annie, he would have certainly been dead this game. Hitting the Annie 2 allowed him to actually have a tank that he could play around, which allowed him to actually make it to level 9 and just, you know, have this board and end up what I would imagine is going to be winning this game. We're gonna take a Deathblade here for our Wukong and slam a Sunfire onto him. I think he was waiting for a slam in case Lysandra farmed something, but I mean, at this point, we don't have much time left. We got one more fight here, so let's see what our board can do versus Dog's board. I have to assume that we're gonna win this. A reroll comp is good. I mean, this Yone comp is scary, but almost no comp can deal with the might of 5+ boards. Lysandra is also a huge counter, as you can see there, to the Yone board, and yeah, it's gonna be an easy first, no doubt whatsoever, from Kyun. Really beautiful Fast 9 game that I think shows the power of Fast 9 and shows why Kyun scores. Once again, I mean, look at those scores. Those scores are not normal. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please like it if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.